The
I
Nemesis
can
system was really memorable.
heard, yeah, that sounded sounds complicated on the outset, but the understanding of it sounded pretty sweet as a mechanic.
Oh yeah, it's dead simple really. Like basically it's just you have an NPC that eventually starts picking on you, and then eventually you take them down, and it feels amazing.
Man,
That's
it
really
sounds
it.
Nemesis. That sounds complicated.
Pretty much
What's it
sells it.
entail? Well, you have a nemesis. Oh,
Pretty much.
now I
That's
get
it.
it.
Really.
That's how it
You don't
works.
have to do much. You just you finally get to. It's basically the catharsis of finally kicking the crap out of the bully that picked on you.
Nice.
Oh,
Orc
great.
style.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like basically the nemesis system is there are orc bullies and they pick on you, and then eventually you do enough push-ups and eat enough eggs, and then you can just take them out, and then it's wonderful.
See, the problem would be then you're feeling great. You go out into the world. You're taking a walk, and you're like, well, I'm out in the world anyways. I might as well just play some Pokemon Go. But then
Oh, jeez.
your bully's at the gym, and he totally
Oh,
steals your coffee money.
don't even say it.
Wednesday.
No Pokemon.
Try it.
Okay.
Should we get this bad boy started?
Let's do it.
Jeez, in a rush, guys. the
Yeah.
the adult beverages are poured. The babies are asleep. It's time for New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 1-year-old.
My name is Gavin. I have a 11-month-old.
My name's Jeff. I have a soon-to-be 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Jeez, how long until he's 6?
3 days. So
Wow.
we had his
You
party
bought
on the
him?
weekend. So
You have or you have
we
is coming.
have had it. We have had it. This past weekend we had it. So it was pretty sweet. Exhausting. That's why I couldn't record the other day.
Please, no podcasts. So many 6-year-olds.
Yeah, it was a lot of prep work, a lot of running around getting stuff ready. We didn't even have it at the house. We had it at like a taekwondo place. So
Nice.
it was all taken care of there, but it was just a lot of you had to provide food and get the kids kind of arranged. But it was really neat. They got like a 40-minute taekwondo lesson where an instructor came in, had 12 5, 6 year olds, including my 3-year-old, quiet and listening for a full 40
What?
minutes. It was like magic. And the kid, the instructor, was like 19, 20 years old. He was
Yeah.
just commanding and, got them in line, and it was all about respect. And it was just very
Could
straightforward and inspired confidence. It was awesome. It was great.
I highly recommend that martial art. That was my go-to as a kid.
Oh,
Um,
yeah?
oh yeah, I took it for a while too. And yeah, there's just something like the discipline you get from that one, especially if you have a good instructor that can command a room full of kids.
Yeah.
Um, like it's the self-discipline it teaches, and just on top of that, the athleticism you get. It's pretty good, and it's a martial art that can grow with the kid as well. So like as the kid gets older, you can kind of pursue it further and further and further
Mm-hmm.
until like it depends on like how involved you want to get with like tournaments and competition and stuff. But even just as like a martial art that you go to a few times a week, it's fantastic. And I also remember like it was one of those things that helped me sleep well when I was a kid. I get
Yeah.
home, I was just exhausted, so it definitely puts them through the ringer. But and what's good too is really good for confidence building. Like I when I first started it, it was to kind of counteract some bullying, but I never had to use it.
Hmm.
Um, but what ended up happening was after taking it for a little while, I started walking taller and became a little bit less of a target. Um, because bullies can kind of sense this sort of stuff, and not as much sense like, oh, that kid kicks stuff now, but more of just like
look at
the
the
that
size of that kid's muscles. Oh,
yeah,
damn.
that kid's quads are nuts. But more of just the yeah, you get the confidence, but then you also get the discipline as well, and it's a really nice combination. So yeah, if you find a good instructor, I highly recommend it. It's a really good martial art.
Yeah, this guy was great. He was
That's good.
amazing with the kids. I went up to him afterwards, started talking to him for a bit. He probably sold us on that. Is it dojo or studio or whatever you call it, or training facility? Probably sold us on that location just as a, like they do a before and after care. So they pick up the kids at school during the school year, bring them back for a short lesson. They do homework, they do crafts, they do other things. So we might send them there and kind of get two birds, one stone, get some aftercare out of it, and then a taekwondo kind of aspect to it instead of signing them up separately and stuff. So
Yeah,
it
one-stop
was,
shop.
yeah, it was really well done. But yeah, exhausting. Afterwards, we instead of resting, we were kind of insane and took the kids out to a movie. So just
Why
our
not?
kids, but
Oh, good.
Just pile on the misery.
no, it was, yeah.
We're not going to feel better, so just might as well feel worse.
I don't know why we did it, but no, the kids, or Jude, my 6-year-old, loved it. So he had a great time.
Good.
But that was my weekend.
How did you get any gaming in along with all that parenting?
Okay, I have never played. I will preempt this. I have never played in my life this game ever, but Pokemon Go is amazing.
Say, as if we're going to judge you.
Yeah,
Pokemon,
well,
how dare you? Oh,
like, okay, so
I so am.
it's not available in Canada yet, but if you just switch your app store, you can get it from the US, which is totally helping their servers. But no word of a lie, we were just out tonight doing it for a family walk, and me and my son went out, and we had the app running.
okay, I'm glad. Sorry, I just had a picture of you and your wife went out.
No.
Like you left the
No.
kids behind.
Yeah,
Like
no.
just running around.
So the way this game works is that it landmarks certain things around you, and you have to go to those landmarks to find Pokeballs or Pokemon or whatever. So you have to go out and physically go to these places. So we're out for a family walk. No word of lie, I have no idea how to work this thing. So we get to one of the stops. My kid recognizes it, shows a little picture, so it must work off Google somehow. Shows a little picture of the stop. We're there. It's all GPS coordinated. I have no idea how to like activate it. Like, how do I do I click it? Do I touch it? What do I do? So people were biking by, same spot, and they were on the game. And they helped us. We said hi. They're like, happy hunting. Like, it was, and then we went around the corner. Another person, again, cell phone out, said hi. How's it going? What have you got? What's in your Pokedex or whatever they call it. And it was just honestly so refreshing versus being online in an FPS and having people swear at you and saying you're a noob and you don't know anything. These people were actually out and about saying hi to each other. It was just, it was honestly like goodwill. It was great to see that. But
So,
yeah,
so let me ask. Just let me put this out there. Have we achieved world peace? Did it happen? Are we good? We
Pokemon
got
made
it?
it happen. I think so. We just need
Maybe.
to spread the love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
mean, if you
Nintendo's
wanna see
stock went up, so I'm sure it's...
8 billion, at the
Yeah.
end of it. If you see, there's this one video where it's in Central Park, and of course in super metropolitan, super crowded New York, it's must be hundreds of people just kind of roaming around that same area because the same thing. It's all actual locations,
Yeah.
and it's people, and there's all these stories are just flooding out of the woodworks about. Oh, and I showed up there and I didn't quite know, so a cop pulled over and he got out and he pointed the way and we played it together. Then I ran down the street, my other buddy came, and just these bizarre, amazing human interactions going on. This is so wild right now.
Yeah, this is the first time ever, because they've had these sort of augmented reality landmark-driven games in the past, but they've never taken off. Because the user base is so small.
Yeah.
But you have two names attached to this thing, Nintendo and Pokemon. And because of those two names, a mechanic that's actually been somewhat prevalent for the last, I'd say, almost 5 years, but it just never stuck. No user base at all. And then now it's just all of a sudden everyone's like, this is amazing. It's like everybody's discovering Pop Rocks for the first time, even though they've been on the store shelf for ever, because a Kardashian enjoyed some or something.
And there's really nothing to the game. It's simple, it's free. It uses a map which is pre-existing. They just overlaid it with Pokemon graphics.
Yeah.
And the catching part is just you flicking a ball towards whatever animal or creature it is.
Yeah.
Like that's the catch part. Well, besides going out and trying
Yeah.
to find it, it gives you like little distances. But yeah, no, it was really interesting. And I'm not a Pokemon dude. I've never played one. But this got my son out, and he got him exercising, which is great. He forgot that he was exercising, and then meeting new people. So I don't know, man. Like, and it's not even released here. That was the scary part. Is like, it's not even here. So you have to again switch your app store to the U.S. and people are out playing it. So I can only imagine once it is released here, how much the population will grow.
Swarms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least for the
Yeah,
first few weeks, right? And then we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw it at least like various people that I kind of met through the day, people that I know, like professional adults. Like I saw at least 4 of them that had it, and
Yeah.
all of them, and these working adults had gone through their app store, did the whole thing just so they could get it.
yeah,
And they're furious, they're furiously doing it too. It's just like, oh, this is so cool, and like just going about it. I mean, man, the loss in productivity these last few days.
there's something to it. Yeah.
I'm
Like-
curious. Well, I saw a photo on the internet. It was like a notice that got posted up in like a restaurant or something, and it's like, we do not pay you to chase around mythical make-believe animals. If you persist in playing this game while you're on the clock, blah blah blah, you'll have plenty of time to catch them all in the unemployment. But yeah, it's
just
it's curious. It's really cool. Like I don't probably see myself playing it anytime soon, mostly because I really don't think my phone could play it. My phone is horrible. But I'm also not going to get a new phone for this thing. But I'm very curious about it in the sense of just like seeing so many people playing it. And what's also fun too is that I've seen a lot of people in my neighborhood playing it, and not a single one of them is younger than 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's all like, and the majority of them are like mid-20s or whatnot, maybe or even early 30s. A lot of the people I know personally who are playing it are, my age. And it's really quite peculiar seeing like this many people enjoying this thing simultaneously so fast, and it also having that. It's not a purposeful social experience, but it's like an accidental social experience. Like they want you out at these locations, but I think you interacting with other players verbally face to face was like probably designed, but it also some maybe to this extent even the developers didn't foresee this much like casual chit chat amongst a bunch of random strangers taking photos of tree stumps in a park.
I think, yeah, and that's probably why it works too, because so often in games or other experiences where it's like, and then you can go and talk to people. It's like, ugh. That's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like that sort of
Yeah.
that forced interaction. But this is more the goal is like go out and like to this place and catch this thing, and there just happens to be 6 other people doing it too. So very naturally, you're able to like collaborate and make the thing happen, and that's it. So as opposed to being a crux of the experience, it i.e. forced upon you, it's kind of just this nice happenstance. Like it, yeah, just like man, like what a, it's fantastic. It's just it's so many. It's as if gaming is just breaking out of very tight constraints as far as like this is the thing in your hand, there's the TV, this is your basement, like boom, you're gonna game. It's VR, it's like incredible virtual reality experiences that could also extend beyond gaming into just letting people experience new parts of the world they never experienced. Now we have walking around with huge like little computers in our pockets, so what are the applications as you're out and about? Like what does that mobility grant you as far as interesting gameplay? And just man, starting to see these things be realized, because
Even like with the augmented reality thing, like what are we gonna see with stuff like tourism? If you have like we were in London, and a couple of the places that we went to, a couple of cathedrals and stuff, there was they would hand you like an iPod, and it had like all the full tour in it, and you could access like when you got to certain things, it would like you just be able to call up the audio for it. But like if you implement something like this augmented reality with the geotagging and stuff like that, I can only imagine like how interesting stuff like that would be. And if they could add this level of like excitement and edutainment to things like travel and tourism and stuff like that, it could be really, really interesting. Um, because they're already kind of getting this, like getting people out to landmarks in their own city that normally they wouldn't go to, just to catch a Pikachu. And like that, imagine like yeah,
And
if it wasn't just for catching those things, but for catching other cool stuff like learning.
yeah, I know. Like
Knowledge.
on that note, like I know the ROM, the Ontario Museum, they did an augmented reality where the dinosaur bones, or I think it was the ROM,
Ah,
the dinosaur bones, it turned into the actual dinosaur.
okay,
So it like skinned it for you,
that's
and then
cool.
came up with the info. So even stuff like that, where it's
Yeah,
they already have that information. How do you make it cool and accessible, and kids want to try it, or even adults, right?
yeah,
And learn and not realize you're learning, right? It's not all
yeah.
just books and dry
It's just
information.
beautiful candy coating.
Yeah.
This tastes delicious. So what if I told you it was knowledge? What? It's like hiding broccoli, except broccoli of thought.
Brain broccoli.
Brain broccoli. Nice.
And it's free too. This thing's free, which I think is
Yeah.
a big thing as well.
It's funny how it's like a product that's free just jumped a company's stock
Yeah.
by like
25%.
billions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
They're giving away something,
Yeah.
and the value, the equity just shot through the roof.
Yeah.
The-
Maxed out.
It's
Just
like,
who would have thunk?
yeah, it'd be like if a lemonade stand's like, yeah, it's free today. And all of a sudden, like the lemonade stand owner's net worth just like quadrupled in an
Yeah.
afternoon,
It's like
even though they didn't bring in any revenue.
No.
It's just totally just hype and brand recognition and all this other weird measurement algorithms that the stock market likes to calculate stuff by. But it's like this company is now immensely richer, catching up to its former Wii glory. And yeah, it's just so peculiar that like a free thing. Well, yeah,
Yep.
there's microtransactions and probably a few people are doing there. It's gonna probably make a lot in those, but it's still at the end of the day, it's a free thing. It's a
Yeah.
free thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I mean they Nintendoed again though. I mean it's just funny because they were out of the conversation a long time ago. They were kind of out of the conversation, and then they launched the Wii, and everybody had Wii's. Like that was the console,
Yeah.
that was the conversation, and it was like nothing compared to as far as a powerhouse on graphics, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Wii U seemed like a bit of a trip, and now they've just like what E3? What was E3? Like what? What E3? There's
Yeah.
Pokemon Go. There's only Pokemon Go now. It's the only thing that
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah, it's
It
weird.
is.
Like Nintendo will do these little things. Nintendo's like this really interesting like alt rock band that like releases a lot of just like, oh, that wasn't very good. That was an okay album. And then every so often they just put all their eggs into one basket and release a single that like revolutionizes music for the next 5 to 10 years. And then in that 5 to 10 years that music's being revolutionized by something that they made, they're still sort of just like putting out mediocrity. And then 5 to 10 years later, they put out that other thing, release a new single, and it's like just changes everything again, turns everything on its head. It's like this weird sort of thing. Like Nintendo every so often just does this one thing, and it's this one thing that just changes everything,
Yeah.
and has all the other companies scrambling to try to like make ice cream cones that glow in the dark, and like all this other crazy stuff. Like I'm really curious to see like what Microsoft and Sony are going, like how they're going to respond. Like are they going to be looking into augmented reality and stuff like that? Because like both Sony and Microsoft do have a very, very laughable stake in the phone market compared to like Samsung and Apple. Um, and maybe that's their weak point is because like Sony has like the Ericsson line and then Windows phones and that. Uh, would there be a situation where because Nintendo doesn't have any skin in the game regarding cell phones, that their distribution is just whatever the platform they want to do, that it's not like it has to be released by like Android or this or that. um, yeah, I'm wondering whether that's going to be their advantage. And if even Sony and Microsoft is going to try to put in to this market, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't know.
So hopefully not. I mean, like, because all the, as you mentioned with the ice cream cones and the full body scanners that
Yeah.
had come after the Wii, the thought like what's going to be like Crash Bandicoot AR. Find where Crash Bandicoot is in this park.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather not. I'd like to
I don't
just
wanna
leave
do
him.
that. I just don't want to do that. Like,
Please don't make me do that, Sony.
yeah. Like Microsoft releases like a cover-based shooter that you actually have to like hide behind a bench. Nobody's gonna
Probably.
do
Don't
that.
even say
Oh,
it.
that sounds.
Probably.
That
It
sounds like it's
sounds
going to
like
happen.
Yeah. That's why I
Please
said
don't
it.
happen. Oh man, that's jeez.
That's so
Coming to
gonna
a street,
happen.
coming to a street near you, a 35-year-old hipster with an iPhone
Yeah.
catching them all. The future. So, hey, Gavin, any so since you weren't playing Pokemon Go,
No.
did you get into any gaming this week?
Uh, Basically just trying to finish Doom.
Still on Doom.
Uh,
Nice.
I'm
Still
almost
enjoying it?
done. Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't enjoyed a game like this in a very long while. Actually, no, not a very long while because I really enjoyed Uncharted 1 and 2, and I came right off those into Doom. So like, it's just been like the hits just keep coming. It's been a good few different games one after another. Um, yeah, I picked up Grim Fandango. I haven't dug into it yet, but I'm excited to give that a try. But yeah, I've just been playing Doom. Trying to think of anything else that I've been enjoying. No, that's about it. Um, just playing that one. I've been eyeing up a few. There was one game called Soma. It's like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was curious about that one, but I'm not sure if I quite want to hop into that because it's very like atmospheric kind of
Yeah.
first person experience. I know it's not obviously the same as Doom, but it's that same sort of. I like to switch up the type of game that I've been playing. So I think the next one might be something a little bit more like I might give Mad Max a try or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Or
another one
just
that's
hold off.
man. That one. That's another one. I think we were talking before we started, unless we talked after we started, which point's repeating it. But like Shadow of Mordor and Mad Max seem to be two titles that are so desperate to get onto everybody's computer because
Yeah.
those things just continue to drop in price in the craziest fashion. So I've seen Shadow of Mordor for as low as $9. I saw Mad Max recently for $8.
Yeah.
Which both, and both are like that's unbelievable. Those are both fantastic games as far as I
And I actually
understand
think
it.
they're both they're developed by the same studio.
These seem very, very
Or like
similar.
Mad Max is developed by Avalanche Studios, which is the same one behind Just Cause.
Yeah.
But then they also had some help from where is it here? Where's my Mordor? Mordor's away, I guess. But yeah, I think it's also the team behind Mordor had a hand in Mad Max, so it's like this kind of hybrid between the two studios or something. Or I could be totally wrong and just hallucinating. Uh,
Sounds
but
like
yeah,
a good idea.
yeah. But no, I'm curious about that one. It looks fun. It's I've heard people compare it to like Rage in regards to just like a really fun post-apocalyptic game, which was a game I really enjoyed. Rage was a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I think that might be the next one. I'm also holding out for No Man's Sky because spaceships. And
It went gold. It's got a launch date.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's gonna happen.
It's actually happening. So,
Yep.
for me now, I'm just wondering, like, okay, do I wait for the VR or do I just buy the PlayStation so I can play it when it comes out?
I'm
It's
not doing
August.
VR.
Don't wait for the VR.
I was thinking that's because that'd been my whole plan. I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the bundle and get it all together. But it's like that's a lot of extra months that I could be totally immersed as a spaceman.
I'm too scared to go into sensory deprivation like that close to a kid. You know?
That's exactly why I want to go into space deprivation. That's all I want is to disappear, man. I just want to go into space.
No Man's
That's
Sky
right, like-
is just Trevor being an ostrich.
You can, yeah, baby's on the corner just crying like wait, just like and slowly like the helmet goes on.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
The space
Yep.
theme goes. No, yeah, man, August I think that comes out now
Yep.
with, like you said, gold. So,
Interesting
but
on that one too. I think the disk space is what, 6 gigs. He said it was 6 gigs in almost all audio because it's all
Wow.
procedurally generated, right? So it's just like an algorithm sitting in there.
yeah,
Ah.
for comparison, Quantum Break was 44 gigs,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
it's like,
heavy.
man, the entire universe in 6 gigs
Yeah.
in an hour worth of download. That's unbelievable.
Go catch them all, Trevor.
Yeah, it could fit on my phone. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, so I wanted to mention I had a first time experience which I was really excited about. I'm curious to see if it continues to go or not. But I played a video game with my wife, like
Ooh.
like first time ever. Like it was,
Congratulations.
I've tried before, like except I've tried at very bad angles.
I think I
Like
remember
one,
you mentioning these in an earlier episode.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
like
just
it's
having some bad decisions.
awful. It was the worst of decisions. So she's not had a great introduction to it. But the way I said, like, I'd be curious if you want to try this game with me, and she's like, video games. I'm like, no, let me set this up. Like, this is, it's set in the late '80s, early '90s. It's a man who has given up everything and moved to the forest to be a park ranger. He's currently going through a very difficult separation with his wife. This is him trying to sort everything out. So he goes out into the forest, and then things start to unravel, and a mystery unfolds. And when put like that, it was kind of like, oh, okay, all right. Like it was pitched much more along like, remember how much you liked Breaking Bad or all these other
Yeah.
shows? Like it's kind of like that, except it's a little bit more interactive.
Yeah. Do you want to watch an animated series that I'm going to pilot? Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's basically it. Like you're going to control, um, and that's some of the games that I like playing. Lindsay's actually gotten into watching. So like my wife will sit and like The Last of Us, she thoroughly enjoyed. She watched The Last of Us like it was a TV show. And like I would feel bad playing it without her. So like I made sure that it's like if I'm gonna play it, she's gonna be around because she wants to know what's gonna happen next to the characters. Um, and then yeah, so that's cool. So now was your wife playing or was it?
So what was
No,
the
she's
game
just
though? Did we mention the game? You described
Oh,
it.
you
Oh,
come
so
on, you know what you're talking about.
Firewatch.
There
It's
you go.
it's
There you go.
Firewatch, which, like I said, so like that story, the writing is fantastic. Like the voice work is phenomenal. This thing really does play like a series, and it helps that the graphics are as beautiful as they are, but also as approachable. So it's not trying to be cutting edge realistic. It's much more artistic in that sense,
Yeah.
as far as a bit of a paintbrush approach to it.
All the
But
rocks and rock formations in that game are made from like 5 boulders.
Oh,
really,
really? Just rotated
Yeah,
around
there was
and stuff?
the art director did a talk for GDC and it's on their archive. And yeah, they basically just like for all the rock formations and stuff, they just repurposed and scaled a variety of different rock shapes that they created, and they were able to get so much mileage out of just overlapping and combining these rocks and just like duplicate and twist and rotate, and like they were able to make full-on formations just from these few rocks. And it's just amazing sort of stuff that they're able to make, and just being very economical with it. And yeah, that game, it's not trying to be photoreal, but the art direction and just the design choices in it visually are some of the best I've ever seen. It's just, yeah, as you said, Trevor, it's a pleasure to watch.
no, just and the core mechanic is interesting too. Just for me as a gamer, it wouldn't mean as much. What's great for her is because of all the dialogue choices, and you're constantly throughout the game, you are constantly talking to this other ranger, and that's really how the story gets moved along. But with that comes choices. So, are you going to be a dick? Are you going to be kind of quirky and funny? Like, how are you going to approach the
Is that the
situation?
red
And that's
button? Just spam the red button the whole game.
yeah.
This is who I am. Don't try and change me.
And I found it the hard way that
Spam.
there's actually a limit. You can't Mass Effect it and just sit there forever and let them stare. Like you have a time limit to respond to
Oh,
some
cool.
things. Because I blew it the first night this other ranger was trying to get to know us, and we didn't answer because I didn't know that was the case. It's because we were discussing which answer we wanted to go with. She's like, well, okay, I guess you don't feel like talking. Guess I'll see you tomorrow.
You're having
Like,
a
no!
dispute. You're like, no, we should pick this one. No, we should. What do you mean?
Man, so I'll keep posted. It might have been a one-off, and in fact, she didn't really like it very much. I asked afterwards, and she really did seem to enjoy it. So, I mean, it could be the gateway into these type of experiences because I certainly have been enjoying this game. So, that could now be a thing that we do.
Hmm. I know there's a lot of games that I pick that are like I'll decide whether it's a game I want to play. Actually, I think I even mentioned this in a previous episode that I was debating whether to get Firewatch for the PC or for the PlayStation, because if I get it for the PlayStation, I know my wife can sit and experience it with me and we can play together a lot more comfortably because we can sit on the couch together. Whereas with the PC, it's kind of a one-chair experience and it's not as comfortable to experience that together. Like, yeah, I could set stuff up to stream on the TV, but I also just don't have the time or the care
Yeah.
to do so. So yeah, it's that. Yeah, there are certain games. There's one, Until Dawn. It's like a horror,
Oh
like
yeah.
try to keep all the teenagers alive.
Yeah.
Narrative
horror movie,
adventure.
right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
an interactive horror movie where it's just choices that you're making and uh, the typical sort of like slasher film,
Yeah.
like teenagers making bad decisions and just trying to like corral them away from the bad decisions, but usually just right into a different bad decision. But that's one that I wanted to pick up sometime soon to play, alongside my wife because I think that would be a lot of fun for us to sort of like uh, figure that out. And like she's pretty good with horror movies, like especially ones that are a little bit more like tongue in cheek, like Scream,
Yeah.
or like Cabin in the Woods, stuff like that, where it's not quite as it's horrifying but not horrific, I guess
Yeah.
is a way of describing, like something that's like it's scary, it's bloody, and oh, somebody got stabbed, but it's not something where it's like Hostile, where she's like, this is just wrong. um,
Yeah,
so
how
yeah,
far can we push the human
yeah,
grossness on this particular thing?
yeah. But so yeah, I think picking games that are good spectator games, I guess, is kind of a way of describing them. Like finding good spectator games. Uncharted is a good series for that. Anything Naughty Dog does is usually a fun thing to sit and watch. Um, and then eventually you'll be able to lure her into something like Diablo, which is fantastic couch co-op. Um, we did like almost 2 full playthroughs together on that. Like,
Man, that just feels like such a
That's a long shot for
that
me.
feels a bridge too far. It just feels so far
what's interesting
off.
was like she had never played a role playing game before. Like this was her first time diving into any kind of that style of game, and yeah, she totally grasped it nice and quick, and she picked like the type of character she wanted to play and got so into it, especially with all the different gear that you could equip your character with. Like she was always trying to find this balance between fashion and functionality, so she was trying to find like the outfits, and like she wanted her character to look really cool and badass, but she also wanted to make sure her stats were good too, as like all of us do when we're playing it. So she totally got bit by that bug in an RPG where it's like you want to craft an awesome looking character, but also a character that's going to play really well too. It was about halfway through our first playthrough where we discovered we could buy like dye to like color coordinate our outfits. So we spent a whole evening
That's
just like
amazing.
figuring out.
That's great.
Yeah, so and we would every so often we would like trade equipment and stuff too, or like she would pick up something that my character could use and I'd pick up something that her character could use, and we just typical Diablo trade style where everybody just throws crap on the floor and then walks to the other side of the room and picks it up. But no, it was a really fun game to play together because of it. It was great on the console because the controllers were well mapped for it, and it just felt good. It was very spammy and fun, and she played at a distance with like a very magic heavy character, and I was more like a punchy character. and between the two of us, we really tore things up. It was good. She was just chucking lightning, and I was just punching everything in the face, and it was a lot of fun. But also,
Yeah,
like,
the
narrative ones are fun too, because it's like, yeah, you decide, like, ooh, well, how do I do this? Like, what should we do? How do we respond? We better make up our minds, or they're gonna hang up on us.
jeez.
Yeah.
That's the it, actually, Jeff. That kind of brings up a question. The Have you ever found a game that your kids are willing to spectate you play?
Oh, that's good.
Is that ever something you've ever tried? Because it's something that's like struck me as like it'd be great if I could distract him with something that I want to be distracted with also.
Yeah.
There was when my son was younger. It was Katamari because he always
Yeah.
clapped when the ball because you would just roll a ball over stuff and pick up
Yeah.
more stuff and you get bigger and bigger and bigger. So he used to clap at all the stuff I would pick up and I'm making a mess and bashing buildings around and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and the whole thing is like brightly colored, quirky
And then
sounds. It's
the
got the crazy
soundtrack.
song, the
The
soundtrack.
soundtrack on that game was one like da 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 da
Yeah,
da da
exactly.
da 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 da. It's
It's in my
so
head right
good.
now. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
As
But
soon as you said
that game,
Katamari, it just flooded
yeah,
my head, and now I want to play it. And
yeah,
I bet, like, yeah, that actually would be a great one for babies too, because like my daughter loves music, and
yeah.
I'm sure she would just be dancing away to that while I'm rolling over cows. Yeah,
That's
that's a
a good
good
one.
one.
That's the one I've tried. I haven't tried anything else. Anything else? My oldest has played, so like Tearaway and all that stuff. He's kind of
Mm.
interactive with. But Katamari was a good one. I remember using that one on him, and
What
it was
about like the Rayman
Sounds good.
games? Like Rayman Legends was beautiful.
Rayman Legends. We played that one together. I think you
Okay.
have up to 4 players. So he was part
Yeah.
of that one as well. But he loved the animated style of it
Hmm.
because it is again so colorful, so well like just fluid, and
Yeah.
the character would react to your environment.
That was another
Um,
one actually that was good. Spouse co-op is
Rayman, yeah,
Rayman. That was a lot of fun. We had a great time together with that one.
Seems a
Yeah.
little technically challenging, no? Or doesn't
it's
it
a
require like a certain
platformer.
amount of deftness?
Yeah,
No?
it's just a platformer. It's if you can play Donkey Kong, you can play it.
Yeah, and the checkpoint system, I guess you'd call it, is pretty good. So
Yeah,
you
it
can
is
get
pretty
pretty far
lenient.
and then yeah, try again.
Yeah, it can be challenging at times, but it has a good learning curve. And like if I guess if you let the other person who might not have played many games in the past, if they cut their teeth on something like Mario first, and
Yeah.
then you slowly work your way from like a Mario to a Donkey Kong to a Rayman, you sort of that trek, then that would probably work well.
And it has the music stages, right? Is that the one with the music stages? There's one where you collect stuff, like you jump to the notes and it makes
I think
like
that
it's a
was
song.
yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah,
that's not Legends, maybe it's something else, but they're all
yeah.
blurring together for me. But that was pretty fun. That was a good one too. The
Hmm.
Katamari, definitely. Sing the
Isn't
song.
there?
Love it.
I heard rumor of like a new one coming out soon, like or it's like in the works. And
Oh, really? I
yeah,
saw a mobile version and it wasn't very good.
yeah, no,
It's not the same. But
no,
yeah, if there's another one coming out, definitely a time for it. It's just really easy to get into, right? A low barrier of entry. You just go around
yeah.
and have fun. It
Oh,
doesn't have to be
Okay,
anything
so
new.
I'm
so what
so
you do
gonna
is
pull.
so you take your phone and you hold it in front of your face, and based on whatever items you see, you can roll those up into a
There you go.
ball, and then you're just
Augmented.
running around the street with your phone picking up stuff.
Yep.
See,
Oh, see, we got a game. Let's do it.
it's new dad gaming co. We got to start building games
Yeah.
and ruining lives.
Somebody getting arrested next to like a big wad of duct tape and raccoons.
This is the
Some
second
babies
time
sort of.
today.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to arrest you, but at the same time, you've solved a raccoon problem.
Yeah.
Jeez. This one further world peace, just one by
Yeah.
one. Is there anything these AR games can't do?
I know. It's like
How do
who
you?
knew that super happy raccoon ball would be such a hit, but it is.
Here we are.
Patent pending.
Here we
Speak,
are. That,
speaking of world peace, gentlemen, do you have beer picks for the week?
I do.
I do as
Um, oh, oh, oh. I did. Um, Great Lakes Brewery called Canuck Pale Ale. And it has a fancy lumberjack gentlemen. It's nice. It's very. It's what I like about it is it's hoppy at first, and then it doesn't linger. Usually, hoppy beers, you get that kind of thing going on at the back of your tongue. You don't get that with this. It's very clean finish, nice and smooth. And yeah, I actually had it earlier in the weekend, and I was like, "That is good. I will get another one for the podcast." And yeah,
Nice.
That's a good sign. The rebuy is always a good sign.
yeah, yeah, it made it. Even on second pass, it does it.
Still holds.
And yeah, I've had Great Lakes Brewery stuff before, and they're usually, you know, on point. So yeah, I thought I'd try that out. And actually, I think I saw the can Jeff has as being a can that I eyed up, but I didn't get. Yeah, what is it?
So Conductors Craft Ale
Yep,
by Junction Craft Brewing in I think Toronto.
I
Uh,
probably got the junction.
yeah, in a junction in the junction. But yeah, good beer. 5%. It's good tasting. Like it's a good base beer, I would call it. Like there's nothing. It tastes very similar to a lot of other beers I've had. Again, a little hoppy, a little good
Yeah,
taste going on. Nice and cold. I like it. It's good. Probably buy it again too.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like the little graphic too. I like the little guy.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've been liking about these
I
smaller
know. I'm
brewing
drawn to the
companies is
drawn to the pictures.
they're really having fun with the labels. There was
Yeah.
one that I didn't get a chance to get, and I kicked myself still. There was a beer small batch release called Robo Hop.
Yes, I saw it. I saw it today. I was gonna get it.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it out again?
Yeah, it's out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll go look
At
at it.
least at the grocery store. But yeah, it is
All
out.
right.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, because I saw it like I think last year, and then I
or
missed my chance to get it.
maybe it was called Hotbot. Maybe that was it. Was that the same?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it literally had like a RoboCop on the
Yeah.
cover, but it was made of hops.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I'll see
right.
if I can get it. I'll see if
Okay.
it's the right one.
I'll go hunting too. We're all gonna show up with
Made a
RoboCop.
connection.
Yeah. three times the RoboHop. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm
The,
happy to see that it's back in the wild.
So I got So first, I have to ask for a bit of help. I'm trying to remember. Have I talked on the podcast? Because I have a couple in the hopper just in case. Have I talked on the podcast about side launch?
Don't think so.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Have I
tasted
talked
that
on
one,
it?
though.
Have I talked on the podcast about Heyday?
No.
And this
Also
is a. So these are both beers, and this would be the kicker. They have tastes of banana and cloves. Have I ever talked about this?
No. I have. Are you talking about side launch? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tasted that one.
Okay, because I have literally been to the LCBO, and without exaggeration, for about 5 weeks running, and I cannot find it. Every single time they have the placement for it. So it's either, and in my mind I'm just like, are you just toying with people and you've actually stopped ordering it? Because they have the other one. They have another side launch is the actual brewer.
Yeah.
The beer I'm talking about specifically is wheat. It's in the yellow can.
Yeah.
It's one of the more surprising beers I've ever had as far as flavor. So it's a wheat beer, again, kind of like it's a bit of a summer thing for me, but it's got these flavors of banana and cloves, which sound bizarre, but somehow works out to be so delicious and refreshing. Like it's such a calming, beautiful beer, and very much a beer. Like you almost say banana and cloves, and you think it's not going to be beer enough, but it certainly is. It's beer first. And man, it's just fantastic. It is one of my surprise finds, and I always try to get it, and I cannot find it for weeks now. Like I don't know what is going on with that. If it's just blowing off the
You're too
shelves, or
close. You're too close to the West End.
it must be.
I bet if
That-
you went looking in another neighborhood, you'd find it.
I try. I try too. Like I work downtown, like right downtown, and
Oh,
it's
yeah?
not there.
It
Not
is
downtown
here.
either.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Send me some.
You
But-
need to like start shopping in like Molson and uh MGD territory.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want to
shopping
define that
around.
territory?
what's funny is that I remember that beer. I got it for a beer advent calendar my wife gave me. So she gave me 24 days before Christmas, 24 beers. It was all different, tall boys. And I Facebooked each one with my comments so that I could go out later and say, which ones did I like, which ones I didn't. So I brought up my notes on that one. And I'll straight quote. It's like licking a raspberry bush. Not even sure how I got this, but this beer is too fruity for my liking. Keep it in Collingwood.
We'll keep it in calling.
Because it's
Wow.
made in Collingwood, right? It's the yellow
Which,
can side launch brewing company, the wheat one.
Wow.
Man, raspberry though.
Raspberry bush. I don't
Where
know
the heck
why.
did you get raspberry?
I don't know. That's my notes, and I'm sticking by them.
Oh.
Jeez.
I can try it again as a challenge. We can try it again.
Yeah, if you can find it, do it.
Jeez.
No, yes, do it. That's challenge
I
accepted.
didn't,
Do
I
that.
didn't know Jeff was so sassy when it came to beer review.
Yeah, that was
Like, kitty got claws.
One of them was it was just awful. I can't take I can't take fruity in my beer. I can take hoppy.
Yeah.
Fruity, it's the fruity. I don't know.
This one's certainly fruity. The problem, I think, the best part though, as funny as it is, I would in some ways not even classify banana as fruity. A lot of times when you think fruity, I think it's more like the berries or the mangoes or the kind of exotic fruits. Banana's more oatmeal and like basic. I think
Well, it
it's some
tasted
degree.
raspberry.
And
I don't
especially
know. I no, maybe my palate's off. I have no idea.
given like the sassiness of your post, it might have been your sixth beer in. So I don't know.
It could-
Like you
it was
got the
day
right
9.
one.
Yeah.
Day 9 of 24. So I don't know.
And you might have been doing some catching up. So the other thing, the other one I'm trying to find, and I tried to find this one as well. There's another beer that has a very similar profile. It's from Granville Island. It's called Heyday, Heyday, Heyday. Exact same profile. So it's got the banana, it's got the cloves, it's the wheat beer. If you can't find one, you can very easily substitute it for the other. Another one that I have not been able to find recently, just week over week. So like Gavin said, maybe it's just the ones I'm going to. It's a type of fruity nonsense beers that people seem to like where I'm going. But yeah, man, Jeff,
Anything
please
within
buy.
like 20 miles of Trinity Bellwood Park, like that area,
So
they're gonna get all of those really like interesting like fruit citrus note beers. They're just gonna get siphoned.
Oh my goodness! I just thought about. God, can you imagine what that park's like tonight with Pokemon Go?
It's
go
insane.
check it out. Go check it out.
Oh man, I should go take some
Report
video.
live.
That'd be.
You should.
You
Put
should
it up
go
on the site.
hunting for Pokemon players,
Hunters, yeah.
like, and you're just taking photos of them.
Yeah, so you got your 55-year-old, you got your 18-year-old punk, you got your 35-year-old hipster, you got your bowler cap, you got your no shirt, you got your...
Yep. Actually, it was in the elevator yesterday. There was a guy who was talking about he was scared to go to a local gym because he wasn't a high enough level yet.
You have to battle it at gyms, which are other points on the map.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
there's a Good Life Fitness like 2 blocks away, and he's like, yeah, we can't walk to the restaurant this way because I'll be walking by the Good Life, and I don't want to get challenged to a fight I can't win. I'm like,
He's
this is a conversation that 2 grown men are having in my elevator because his Squirtle isn't a high enough level so he could walk by the Good Life Fitness safely.
altering his life. This is beautiful.
It's like it's life-altering
Yeah.
gameplay,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
almost tragically so.
No, man, I can't go down there. Why? There's like a level 42 Squirtle. I'm not sure I can do
Can't
it.
do it.
Just can't do it.
You can do this, bro. You could do this.
You got,
Teams
you
up
got
with like
this.
4 of the guys. All
Yeah.
That's
hype.
hilarious.
It's just like it's the schoolyard thing again. It's like, I can't walk down that street to go home after school. Why? And it's like, well, Derek's on that street. He'll give me a wedgie. Like this.
No, it's Charmanders and Squirtles. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, it was
So-
like, nine floors of elevator ride just watching these 2 guys have this like super stone cold serious conversation about the crippling fear this one man had about walking by a Good Life Fitness.
And so we begin with Pokemon, and so we end with Pokemon.
Yep.
Everyone, that is
Pokemon, the alpha and the omega.
beginner and ender of all things,
Yeah.
including this podcast. Everyone, thank you once again for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. We do this show weekly. You can find us on our website at newdadgaming.com. You can send us notes if you have any questions for us to answer or show suggestions, anything else you'd like to send our way. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can find us on iTunes and other podcast services. Thank you once again, and until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have no Pokemon and a 1-year-old.
My name is Gavin, and I have a 11-month-old and no Pokemon.
I'm Jeff. I have a 6-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and about like 6 Pokemon.
Oh, wow. You have more Pokemon than kids?
That's true.
Wow.
They're my family now.
They're your family now.
They're well behaved.
Living the dream.
Can you use the Pokemon Go to find your kids if you lose them?
See, now there's an added feature. Maybe that's DLC or something.
Yeah, that's the that's where the microtransactions get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they're out and about and they're not coming back, you can press a button and their difficulty ramps up like 20 times.
Yeah.
You're like, we better go home.
Yeah, they get
That's
chased home by the high level ones, or you just lure them home with an exotic Pokemon.
Yeah, or to the dentist or something.
Yeah.
No, you gotta go in here. Sucker.
The parental DLC is just a carrot on a stick, and it's like
Yeah.
you can just hide these rare Pokemon. It's like you hide it next to their homework or at the dentist office. And it's like they're not coming home for dinner. It's like, well, fine, I'm gonna get like a level 10 squiggly puff. I made that up. It's probably real.
I think it is real. You
Yeah.
know Pokemon. Don't lie.
Yeah, right. You try to. Well, it might be something. I know Charmander.
I'm cool, guys. I don't need
I'm
this.
with it.
I'm with it. I'll make up words.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Try to pretend you don't know Pokemon.
See, look. Okay, as we're talking,
There's still room for improvement.
I got a
Yeah.
Pokemon here. Look.
What,
There's
in your
right there.
house?
Yep, he's in my house.
The
See?
calls coming from inside your house?
Now you got. Oh my god, it's like a scary movie. He is behind me. You can't see him.
Oh, no, I saw a ball.
Yeah.
There's the
so
ball.
I have to turn it. He's actually like right behind me, somewhere. But anyway,
I want to see this.
hold on.
Yeah, keep talking,
Here.
Jeff. You have to talk so your video goes up.
I will. Okay, I've captured him.
Oh,
Got him. He's right behind me. He's sneaking up on me.
oh yeah.
This one I
there
already
it is.
have though, so I just wasted a Pokeball on him. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and
Gotcha.
it's
Boom.
wow.
That's
Now,
it.
Jeff-
That's all you gotta
Like,
do.
what is that, like Rat-a-tat or whatever they're called?
Yeah, you know. See, look at that. And then it goes back to the map, and it shows you. It goes to night and stuff, but that's like my whole street, subdivision, everything. And
And
there's
you
the
cleared
gym
them all.
off in the distance. You can see it. That little marker is the gym, so the battle zone. I'm not at that level yet.
So
Come on,
you
like
walk away.
real time. Go and fight the gym. Do this right now. Let's go.
If I go
Let's
there
do this.
now, I guarantee you there'll be people there. I'm not even, and that's in like a park. Like it's beside water.
Oh, we should do a 3-way live action Pokemon hunting. We're just I'll go to Trinity
Gavin's
Bellwoods.
all over that.
You just have like a picture of me sleeping on a park bench.
Honestly, and like it's I have never played Pokemon, and even going out to get like a beer for tonight at the grocery store, I'm like, I wonder what's around here. Ding ding ding. Oh, there's 3.